everybody. This is Morning Coffee, and I'm not sure we've had enough coffee to really be on the air today, but we are going to start continuing our infusions with our coffee. Go get your cup and come and join us. And we even have a topic today. As you know how well we stay on our topics. So with us in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, is Angie Ledbetter. Good morning.
Good morning.
And she has just celebrated last night a big party for her 30th anniversary. And you look just fine for it. Yay, yay, you're still doing the party. And coming to us from the closet in Texas is Kathryn Magendie. And good morning there. How are you doing this morning? Did you even sleep a wink last night?
A little.
We had 2 winks.
I had I was gone for the weekend, so there's a little traveling was done this weekend. So,
and just so you know, the traveling was done to Baton Rouge to be with Angie. So I know some mischief was done this weekend.
Well, and I also went. I went to a little secret place over the weekend too on a boat. It was awesome. So.
And I guess it should remain a secret.
Huh?
It should remain a secret.
Oh no, I guess not. No, not some of it will.
All right. And I'm Ann White. I'm the founder of the Creating Calm Network, and I brought these two women together. They've been together forever. I discovered them on Facebook because I love their wild and crazy passion. And they're artists and photographers and authors all mixed in together, all sorts of good stuff. So today I thought we would take a look at the eye of a writer, the eye of an artist. What do you see, and how do you see something and decide it's going to be your creation? And we'll see where that goes. And if not, we'll talk about the boat trip with Kat and get the secret out. But Angie, you are a dabbler, you say, so I know that you write, I know that you do art, and I know that you do photography. Is the eye different for each one of those genres? Because your photography is just drop-dead gorgeous, so you must have an eye that you see something in photography. Talk about what you see in each of the genres that helps create.
I think it helps. Kat and I were talking about this the other day. If you have been an observer all your life, which Kat has definitely from a young child, and I think part of my ability to see is probably because I have a twin sister, so we always communicated and still do, by other means besides just the regular senses. But it is a little different for each type of genre, but like the old saying's true, the more you practice, the better you get. So that has a lot to do with developing your sense of style and the way you see things.
Right. And I like that part about being an observer. Kat, I can resonate with that myself for maybe different reasons. I was always very shy. So I was always the person who watched everybody else. So I can see that I've been an observer. How is that what works for you when you look at the world?
You talking to me? For me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was pretty shy, believe it or not. I still am. Still am shy. But
which is why you're in the closet.
Yes. The way my brain works is easily overwhelmed by stimuli, and which makes it hard for me to be around new things or people or bright lights or walking in a store is just like I just feel like, or a party is really difficult for me. So my brain sees things in pieces instead of in wholes. So I learned to lock in on, I guess my brain, whatever, instincts, learned to lock in on the small things, on the little details. And so when I see a person, I will notice like little quirks or little things. And I guess that's just how I see the world. So when I do my photography, which since my camera ended up in the bayou, I won't be doing that anymore for a while. But I tend to see some things in little pieces, so that it's like a macro shot of things. So that affects my writing as well. and it affects how I see people and situations, and that's just how my brain does it. So,
For me as an observer, and I'm glad that you brought up that word because I guess, it gives me a vocabulary to use when I say what happens. I like the little nuances in life and the little vignettes. So I will watch people communicate or situations happen and then look for the irony in it or the magic in it. So I'm always looking for a little vignette, a slice of life. And those are the kind of things that I then take and whirl a little bit through that literary license and create into a vignette. So, but I guess I see that by just watching the world. Angie, when you talk about different eyes for different things, talk about your photography eye, because that, is just amazing that you see the things. I'm just blown away by your photography. So what is the photography eye like?
Thank you. And what you said about loving the vignette, I think the three of us have in common, because we can be in this big scene full of things to do, and somehow our eye will zoom in on one thing, one detail, something that stands out to us. I like to think of it as finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. Whether you photographed something 10,000 times, one day you'll see that same flower or bird or whatever, and there's a little bit different light, or there's some way that you can edit it to make it better. So I think the photographer's eye, especially for ADD crazy people like me, you have that little bitty lens to look through, and all of this goes away except what you're looking through the lens at, and that is pretty darn fun when you can make everything else go away except what you really want to concentrate on.
That is so interesting too, because I am not a photographer, but sometimes if I see something beautiful, I make a lens for it. And I do have ADHD, so it may be that I need to see it, blocking out the rest of everything, because it seems to just pop it when I can make my own.
How do you know you're not a photographer? What you just said to me is the essence of a photographer. You probably just never spend time with a camera.
Right, I never spent time with a camera, but I started doing video. Here's my little video thing, and I made a video movie this weekend of the soup kitchen, and I thought, I am a photographer. It was great.
That's right.
Everybody's creative. Everybody is creative. I mean, the difference between everybody has a creative mind. It comes out different ways. Some people sew, some people, create quilts. I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
But the difference is as a writer, I write down my creativity, or if I take a photograph, I don't know, if I'm walking by something, there might be a split second where I have to take that photograph. And if I don't get it right then, it changes. It's just, how my eyes see things. But everybody is creative. They just, we just have to find our way to express it. So I think Angie expresses hers mostly through her photography, and I guess I express mine mostly through my writing. I don't believe I have ADHD or anything, but I do have CRAZY, and that just so yeah. But I think anybody. I don't know if anybody could get out there and take photographs like Angie, because everybody sees the world in a different way. So maybe someone's creativity couldn't come out in writing or photography, but maybe it would come out in creating something else very beautiful. So, it's an interesting world out there, and the way we see things, and it's real fascinating. People are fascinating. So.
And speaking of people being fascinating, you start your stories, you often said, by finding characters, developing characters, and having the characters bring you into the story. When you look at people as a people watcher, is that how you find your characters? Do you ever see somebody think, I think I'm going to just tweak this a little bit? Or where does that character come from that takes you into the story that you write?
I never look at a person and say, I'm going to write about that person.
Okay.
Or write, but when I'm when I'm out in the world, my brain is like a camera. It takes little snapshots of things, so like, for example, I wrote this story about this man, this boy and this man, because one day I was on the LSU campus and I saw this boy walk by, and the way he was walking, the way my brain took a snapshot of it, and I just never forgot him. But I had no intention of writing about him until one day I started this story, and the quirk this boy had came out in the character. It was just an organic thing. So that's what happens when I'm out in the world. I just note things, and my brain goes click, 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 constantly clicking snapshots of people and things. And then when I sit down it goes in the black hole in my brain and disappears. But one day when I sit down to write, that one of those quirks will come out. One of those things about someone I saw a snapshot of, and that will begin the character. But I never look at somebody and say, well, they're really cool or interesting or whatever, I'm going to put them in my book. It just doesn't work that way for me, because it wouldn't be organic enough. It wouldn't feel right. It would feel contrived. So that's how it works.
Oh, I got you. Angie, what's your response to that? Do you have things like that go on with you? You'll see something and decide how you're going to create it, because you also are an artist and you also are a writer. So are there times you might see something and decide a certain type of your creativity that you're going to capture?
I think it has a lot to do with inspiration, and sometimes it just has to do with the materials that you have on hand right in front of you, that you're inspired to create something, and you pick up. Here's an example. My twin sister Elaine's art she did on a piece of foam board like we used to have in high school, or school, the foam that you just cut and tear. And she put in plexiglass, which has never been seen before, and put bolts, but it says open mind, heart, and spirit. And this is just doodle with Sharpies, but you see the material, you focus in on whatever your raw material is that you relate to best. Like Kat says, hers is, she'll see a certain movement or a certain characteristic that she files away in that black hole. I don't have a black hole, but mine is more like, if I feel inspired to create something, I'll bounce between poetry, photography, art, doodling. And whereas Kat gets in a closet or somewhere and gets by herself to have quiet to concentrate, I work better with people. I'm brainstorming, bouncing ideas off of people. That's what inspires and motivates me.
And is that in a certain genre of your art, or is that in any kind of you get your inspiration for all of your art?
All of it. I'll work better if I'm going to a poetry class or giving a workshop or sitting in a coffee shop every Thursday night with fellow artists or writers, so we're all together doing the same thing. There goes Kat. And there she is.
Somebody sent me a text.
Yeah, so it's I'm not going to use the word, well, the word that comes is the chaos around you causes that creation, and it may or may not, but what I think of, and I have that biblical background because I went to a seminary, believe it or not, and chaos and creation are so linked together. Even if you think of the world was created from chaos, and I think when we create, sometimes it's from a chaos. So I'm wondering if the noise around you creates that chaos that fuels your creation, or did I reach too far into my past?
I think that's true.
Yeah, because they say
it's the energy you draw from, no matter where it is. You call it chaos or inspiration or the muse. There's some energy that pokes you and prods you to go create something.
Right, and they say you can't make an omelet without breaking the egg. Thank you, Ann.
I'd rather somebody else make my omelet for me, but,
Yeah, that would be me too. The other day, I walked into McDonald's for coffee because I was getting my car serviced, and I walked in, and the whole McDonald's was filled with little old men. And I don't want to say that they're probably my age. I'd rather just take myself out of the picture and say that they were little old men having their senior coffee. And sitting there watching them, it was like really going to a different planet and hearing them talk about things that I never knew that, these men talked about. I have about 4 or 5 vignettes that are going to come from getting my car serviced, walking into McDonald's. So I think that we never know where we're going to hit on an inspiration. Because who would think car service at McDonald's is going to bring a bunch of stories? But I have a wealth of stories from that maybe 1 hour of drinking my coffee, like watching this other scene happening. So we never know where we're going to find it.
That's right.
Yeah. Kat, what's going on with you? You know, I saw the video you did of your car and the noise. So that was a little horrific. So you like the boom, 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 boom.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Was that a video of fog? Were you driving through the fog, or did you have a video in your purse or your thumb over it?
No, that was just, I just set my phone down on the car seat, and that was the inside of the noise. That's techno trance music. And it's really weird because even though I can't, you know, I'm overstimulated by things and when it comes to music, actually really hard thumping techno, loud music actually calms my brain. It centers my brain. So when I'm in my car, I love to travel. I love driving on the interstate with the music turned up, full blast on that. And a lot of people wouldn't be able to stand it. It would be too loud and too frenetic but it helps me focus my driving. I listen to that when I'm working out too. I'm completely focused. I don't know why my brain is how it is, but when I listen to that kind of music that's hard driving and thumping and, you know, dance or techno or whatever, it focuses my brain. So it helps me to drive like that. If I were to listen to soft music or just some pop music, I would be bored and want to fall asleep, and it wouldn't be as much fun. So while other people would be in the car with me, they wouldn't be able to stand it.
And you can just see your car going down the highway. Boom, chaka, boom, chaka, boom.
The rear view mirror kept falling like this. You could see the mirrors jumping like yeah, it's loud. It's very loud, and I just love it. So
Well, let me ask you this: when you're creating the books and you write, I love your writing. You're such a storyteller. You take the person right into the story. So Kat has about 5 or 6 novels out and lots of short stories. If you just want to entertain yourself for an evening, pick up one of her short stories and just get drawn in. But when you're writing these pieces, what do you have to have it quiet? Can you write in the middle of a wild area with music thumping, or?
No, I have it quiet. I haven't tried writing. Now the music will inspire me. I might be listening to some kind of music and I'll think, I'm inspired to write something. And it doesn't mean that it's words in the music. It just might be that something like with VK and the Grace's novels, a lot of mountain Celtic inspired music would inspire me to go write a scene. But when I'm writing, I like quiet. I like quiet. Like I don't write in the coffee shops and things like that. I want to be in my closet or somewhere quiet where I can create because I will be easily distracted. Unfortunately, shiny thing. There's a shiny thing over there, or there's something to watch. Woo, and I won't get anything done.
Yeah, no, I can identify with that. I have to have pretty good quiet when I'm doing that kind of work. And yet we have Angie over here who you can put her down in the middle of wildness and you're going to come up with something wonderful. So,
I think one good thing is if you get stale or can't get your creativity out, to change your environment. Like, look, today I put on a little makeup. I have on undergarments. Hey, Kat! I came in a different room. So even if you can't get outside your house, there's plenty of ways to change your daily grind, to see something different, to notice something. If you don't ever get out and change your perspective, you get stale.
That's true. That is true because when I lived on the mountain, all that time so isolated, it was very lonely and isolating. And while I was able to write my books, a lot of what inspired me was when I lived in what I put in the books was when I lived in the city. All those years when I lived in Baton Rouge and other cities, but mainly Baton Rouge. But when I moved here, I was afraid, okay, I'm not going to be able to write. It's going to be too much. It's too much noise. It's too many people. but that's not true. You know, it's going to open up a whole new area of my thoughts and brain, just from new experience. Like I had said when I left the mountains, that I wanted life to get messy. I wanted to be messy, and it has been messy, and it's been wonderful and awesome. It's scary, and I'm feeling a little wild and out of control sometimes, but this is going to make my writing go off into a new direction, not so isolated and self-contained, but pushing out, and I'll see what happens from there. So, you know.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And you're excited about it too, because I think messy will go well with your spirit. You
Yeah.
know, let it go. Let it.
Yeah, watch out.
Yeah, Angie, what do you think about that? I know you guys have been talking. You were together on this last weekend. So the move to Texas, how do you think that's going to affect the writing?
I think you're gonna see a whole new wonderful layer of Kat, because she's coming back from her little isolated semi-death up there in the quiet mountain, beautiful as it was. Now she's gonna have to get in real life, have fun, go through agony. You know, she's living now. So it's gonna be a whole new type of writing, I think.
Yeah.
So, Digger, you're living, girl. There you are in your closet, and you are living. Feel it. You feel the power.
And what made you start the Creating Calm Network and all you do? I've been wanting to ask you that.
Yeah.
You know, for some reason, my life has always been in chaos. I think I thrive in chaos. So I was a trial lawyer in domestic violence for a number of years. And then I work in a trauma center. So I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie. But knowing that I love to put myself in chaos, I always think, then how do you bring the calm in? How do you bring the calm and find the balance and ground yourself and others in chaotic environments? So that's kind of the background of my, makeup. The radio came as one of those things where you just go with the flow, because I wrote a book and I became a radio host to promote the book. Didn't work at all. But I realized it was so much fun to be, and I'm real shy. If I had to pick up the phone and call someone I didn't know, I would think of 1,000 different reasons not to do it, 1,000 ways to get out of it. But be on the radio and tell my secrets to 1,000 million people that I never met, that's okay with me. So I realized
I get that.
Yeah, there you have it. They're from the closet. So, but then it just started, and the more I liked it, the more I thought, I bet other people will like this. So we built a whole network, and then trying to just bring it together of things that excite people, have them have vibrant lives, I think, because sometimes we live unconsciously. And that goes into, I think, the artist's eye. There's a word that I like called eyes made for our theme, eyes made for wonder. And oftentimes when you see people taking a walk, they've got their cell phone on, and they're doing this, and I'm thinking they miss the world. And if we can take our eyes for a walk, our eyes made for wonder, and catch the nuance, the guy, I think Kat was talking about the father and the son, and the interaction, or the dragonfly, or the bumblebee, or just whatever. It really is just a way to pop and live vibrantly. So those are the things that really turn me on, and that's why I like to do it on the radio, like to do it here in Google. That's why I responded to both of you crazy ladies when I saw you on Facebook, just with your cameras and the excitement, because I think when we can live vibrantly, whether we do it through art or writing or music, someday we're going to have Dennis, Angie's husband, on the show, because he creates wonderful music, and so what's it like to be him and have the songs and the creativity? So I think it'd be great to get Dennis on, don't you think?
I think that'd be great. I like what you said about living a vibrant life and having the eyes to see wonder. A lot of times, probably most times, women are busy being the caregivers, raising the kids, so you don't get to put your creativity first, or even in the top 10 for years and years and years. Whereas Dennis has been singing, writing songs, and it's always been a priority for him for these 30-something years. I am just now with 22, 23, 24-year-olds and grown stepkids. Now there's time for me to explore. I feel like I'm catching up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm now I can do what I want to do. All the things that have always been in me, but that's always been on the back shelf. So I think it's
Exactly.
really important for women to have a time in their lives when they get to do whatever they damn well want to do, especially if it's creativity.
Hell
I,
yeah!
yeah. And especially if it's messy, Kat, right?
That's right. Gosh damn it. What she said about, being contained and, however word she used, but that resonated with me because I've held myself in for so many years. I can be very intense and just, and I could just feel all this stuff pushing out. It's just like stuff in me that I didn't even realize about myself is pushing out. And it's kind of scary, and you think of all the years that you've done for others, or you've just, held yourself in for whatever reason, fears or whatever. I realized how much I stayed in that mountain because I was afraid of people and afraid of life, afraid, fear. It's a terrible thing. And to finally be at this point where you're just like, you know what? I'm going to live my life and let the crap fall where it wants to fall. I'm just going to do it and get messy. And I think women do have a harder time doing this than men. Like she said, Dennis has been doing what he loves for 30 years. What do? We wait and we wait and we wait. Well, how long are you going to wait? How long are you going to wait until you finally say, this is what I'm going to do for me. This is who I am. And like it or don't like it, I don't care. So I think women should do that at a younger age. It's not that, you should have children and neglect them. But, you have to raise your kids and you have to be there for your kids. But
And if you don't find interest,
wait, I'm sorry?
if you don't find interest and things to do within your own life, that's a burden you're putting on your kids for them to be your entire life.
Yeah.
I refuse that.
Yeah, exactly.
Angie, do you have daughters?
I have daughter, 2 sons, stepdaughter, stepson.
Do the females, the girls, do you find that they are more willing to explode their creativity at a younger age? Are things changing, do you think? Or are they?
I think slowly it is. I do think slowly, and that's probably part of being in the Deep South where the women are always the nurturers, the stay in the nest or whatever. But I do notice in my daughter and stepdaughter that they asserted a lot more independence and put themselves in the equation way more than we did a generation ago, and I think that's good and healthy.
Right. And then, my message would be, and I have a counseling group, my counseling session is magnify your magnificent self, because we're already magnificent, we just need to magnify it. And a lot of my people in my groups are in their 60s, some 70s, and we have always had goals to help other people. And so now I keep saying, what's your goal? Yeah, but I'm 70. Yeah, but what's your goal? And, we always have the ability to just, like you say, pop out, be messy, just explore, explode. So there's no age. We always have to, or else we stop.
I love that. Magnify your what self?
Magnify your magnificent self.
MYMS. Now they're MIMS instead of moms. That's awesome.
Right, that's right. And we use the lotus. And I like you. I think, with some of your dragonfly shots really resonated with me, because if you think of the lotus, it lives in dirty, mucky water. And that's its nourishment. And didn't we come from dirty, mucky water? We've all made mistakes. We've all got stuff in our baggage. But that's the stuff that makes us bloom into a beautiful flower. So if we don't have some mucky stuff in our life, so go. If you don't have mucky stuff, go make your mucky stuff. It's not
right on.
Yeah, go make muck today. Oh, anyway. Time has just flown. We've had I don't even think we've even gotten to sip very much of our coffee, but it's been wonderful sharing with you your creativity, the things that have inspired you. Kat, I'm so excited about your messiness. I can't wait for your next books because I have loved everything you've written. So we'll see if we can get messy, and I look forward to reading some of those. And, you know, Angie, you had this one picture of a dragonfly, and I thought, that's going to be my next book cover. I have to ask her. And I thought, Angie, we have a book. There's no book for that. So now I have to make a book so that can be my cover someday. So if I ever get that book, I'll ask you about having for a cover.
Yeah.
But that art can inspire, because when I saw that picture, I thought that needs to be my book cover, but I don't have a book like that. So I'll have to make a book like that to go with that. So anyway, wonderful. What do you have cooking this week, Miss Angie?
Oh, little of this, little of that. Some music and cooking for the men's shelter. It's the third Friday, my favorite day of the month, and that's about it.
What do you do on the third Friday?
We cook and serve at the men's shelter.
Oh, you know, and just let me say, the video that I took, I'm going to do a little plug. There was a soup kitchen in Chicago. So I went down to Chicago, and I filmed it, and the chef likes to cook gourmet food or very nice food for 100 people. So I videoed what it was like to be in a kitchen. So if anybody wants to see what it's like at a soup kitchen, you either can go with Angie on the third Friday to the men's shelter, or you can watch Food for 100 Creating Calm Network. And it was just amazing, and I was so hot. They had no air conditioning, third floor. So that's what I filmed, and it turned out okay, so I'm going to do it again.
Yay.
Although, you know, with the camera, there was the zoom in and zoom out, and there were times I think I zoomed in and I'm lost in the apron. I'm thinking, okay, there's a chicken here somewhere. Just and the guy's backing his chickens around. I'm trying to follow the chicken as he's. And of course, I'm a vegan, so I want to throw up, but we lived. It's okay. So the thank you for all that, and have fun at the soup kitchen. We'll see you next Tuesday with a brand new show. And Kat, you got some right. What are you going to start? Are you writing on a new piece, or?
Yeah, I'm working on something unlike what I've written before. So it's going to be very raw. It's got lots of sex in it. It's going to be, people might. I'm going to probably have to publish it myself. But I'm going to Oregon next week to visit my son and granddaughter, so I'm very excited about that. So
great. And we don't know if we'll catch you or not, so you just stay tuned, follow Morning Coffee, and we'll be somewhere sometime. So enjoy, everybody. Here's a cup of coffee to all of you, and thank you for joining us on the Creating Calm Network. We create a little chaos sometimes, but you know, it's all good. Take care. Bye-bye.